Okay, in the previous video, you saw how an instructor will completely configure an assignment for auto grading. Now let's see what students will do. They will upload the assignment code, they run the test cases, and then finalize their submission. So let us just see what a student view looks like. So this is what the course will look like to a student. I have logged into the same course, the workshop demo course, from a student login, and this will be my landing page. So I go to Programming Labs, and I can see that there is a lab which is visible to me. I have not submitted anything, and I don't have any marks yet because I have not submitted anything, and I can see the deadline here. So this is what the students will see. Now the student will click on this, and here you can see the details. So the student will look at this assignment and see what the sample input and output is, and then they will develop the code in some editor or some environment. Here I am showing the example of, let's say, the code is ready and the student has written the code. It's just in gedit, and now there is this file. It's right now called findfactors.cpp. So in fact, I am just going to demo what happens if the student uploads a file called findfactors.cpp instead of factors.cpp. So let's do that. This is where the file is. This one. Okay, now I upload. So here it says no required file is submitted, please submit the required file. So it shows an error because the name of the file wasn't as was desired here. So let us suppose that the file name is renamed. I'm going to do that here. Okay. Okay, done that. Now I'll browse to the same folder, upload this file and upload. What this means you can understand later. For the moment it's just a reminder, but we can just say okay, and now it has been submitted. So here it shows that a file called factors.cpp has been submitted at this time. Now the student will see here these two buttons. One is called evaluate, one is called run practice test. The evaluate button is gray and it's not clickable. That's because the hidden test cases the student cannot execute until the deadline is over. So the student can run the practice tests. You can also scroll down and see what the sections are. Here in fact, let's see this, and so here I have opened the evaluate section. This is actually the section for marks, and if you scroll down it lists these test cases and the names and the marks, but you cannot see anything about the test case. So these are the test cases for marks. If you look at the same thing for the section for which we have labeled as practice, this is a practice section, and here the student can see the section, see the test cases completely. So remember that we had configured an input of 10, and this is the sample output, and for 13 this is the sample output. So this is what the student will see. Now let's go back to the main assignment page. In this section, by the way, in the practice section, you can see the test cases. You can also actually download these test cases if you click this button. So this will download a zip file. And if you look at the downloads here, you basically see these test cases. This is that 13, this output file, this is 10 with the expected output. All of these numbers come in the form of files. So one can actually have this locally and run these test cases locally also. We can see these files locally also. So, but what the student will do is the student has uploaded the source code, whatever the student has written, and now she can click this button to run the practice test. So in this case the program was correct. So both the test cases are passed. You can actually see the what the test cases were, and this is the expected outputs. This is the sample input output, and if you click on this, you can actually see that what was the expected output and what's the actual output. Now you can see here that the comparison here is pretty advanced, that in the expected output the factors are 1 per line, and the student output had this string called the factors are, and the factors were also written in the opposite order. Still this passed. So this is a fairly clever check, and that is because in the instructor configuration we had configured that the output is numbers only and that order doesn't matter. So in the comparison actually this part is skipped, and then the numbers are checked without checking the order. So this works very well, and this is what a student will do. The other thing a student can do actually, let's go back to the main assignment description. You can see here that there is a editor button. There is actually an online editor that is supported in EvalPro, and the editor looks like this. So for example, if suppose there was actually some error in this. Okay, suppose I write initially here by mistake we write some I+1, and then we can save, but this doesn't submit the code. Now I can submit it for running the practice tests.